Good afternoon. How are you? Well, it's a pleasant day out. No less than John Thomas Jefferson has said that our temperature is at 72 degrees and our humidity is at 35, so it doesn't appear that we're going to have rain today. Well, they're talking about terrible storm warnings through the southern part of the state. And the wind is at 2.8 if you're not shielded by all these marvelous trees. Look at the marvelous colors today. It's just great out here. So, this is a day in which we think of our soldiers and our military, those who sacrifice and risk their life, lose their life, and deal with injuries sometimes for the rest of their life. Occasions call upon persons who are suitable to the occasion to address the meaning and significance of that. And I don't know if that was a dissent or not, that bird. I think we can't ignore that Trump has in the past asked that wounded veterans be kept out of military parades. Now, I happen to know the source because it's the same Jeff Goldberg writing in The Atlantic in September of 2020. Now, Trump also said, why should he go to a cemetery near Paris when he was there for a convocation of nations to give thanks and respect those who fought in the war? And he said, why should he go to that cemetery? Because it's filled with losers. Now, he gave a speech today that would suggest he's learned something, but I think it's more honest to think of it as a lie than to think of it as a reformation, because he wants the blessing of people for a birthday celebration that will cost you and I, we Americans, $20 to $40 million, so that the military can march up and down the streets for our wannabe dictator, Trump. Now, you don't have to take my word for it, and you know these facts. Veteran groups are critical of, furious at Elon Musk, because he put a wrecking ball to the staffing at the Veterans Administration, causing the systems to fail. Now, Kayla Williams is an Iraq vet, but she's also active in Vote Vets. And she said today that the VA is cutting staff estimated at 82,000 staffers. That may mean death to those without access to what the staff and the agency can do. Now, my dad served in World War II, and for a time, my mom was able to be with him when he was in the service. My uncle Charlie fought and was taken prisoner in Italy and got very poor medical treatment when in custody. And he didn't get everything that he needed or deserved when he came back. And this, by the way, has been the history of how we treat our vets. Poorly. That we don't give them what they need when they need it. My uncle died after he came home because by the family, and I was too young to have researched this kind of stuff at that age, because they didn't take care. And he had been giving blood to others, but when he needed blood, they didn't give him blood. So the family believed that he might have lived if he got the attention that he required. It is the first and only time that I heard my mom cry a kind of bass, like to the spine, resistance to the bad news that tore her apart. And my dad, who was very close to his brother, he handled it in silence, or at least as I saw it. So we honor those who served us in past wars, and may have to, again, because of the worthless occupant of the Oval Office, who has been speaking in recent days, seemingly adopting what I've mentioned before in foreign affairs, that the movement among the superpowers seems to favor a triumvirate in modern terms, not in Rome, modern terms. And they are China, Russia, and ourselves. So when you hear Trump today or any other day criticize Putin, realize it's a game. You have to see what they do, not what they seem ready to do. Trump has acted disgracefully in so many theaters. It's hard to understand why anybody, the media included, print a word of what he says, because hardly a word in a sentence is true. The phrase when one thinks of Trump is hogwash. He lies because he knows what we owe the vets, but he's not giving it to them. Hogwash. He said today at Arlington National Cemetery that the Republic is now fixed because of what he's doing. What he's doing is building a dictatorship. That he says he's protecting and building the Republic, hogwash. He said he's protecting us by his immigrant policy, which is both incompetent and unconstitutional and in violation of various courts and common sense. And like everything he does, from when he was a kid and probably didn't turn in homework to today, he doesn't do the work, can't read, needs cartoons to be briefed. Don't we think that modern problems require more complicated skills than he has to offer for the office? He reads the speech today full of lies and goes too respectfully unscathed in the media for what he says and how he lies to us. Not even the blood and sacrifice of our servicemen and women is enough to call him out. The front page of every newspaper, maybe almost every day that he speaks, should be lied again, hogwash, more hogwash. And we have to visit the shame on every public official who stood by in silence as he brought us to this point and is on the verge of having a vanity parade costing $20 to $40 million because his birthday is coming up. If that doesn't sound like old Roman to new dictator thinking, I don't know what does. So, what are we going to do about it? When you think about those in your family or friends who served and you honor them, make a point to ignore the bastard who pretends to care because he seeks to manipulate and cares not at all for our servicemen and women, nor for many of the other functions that he took an oath swearing to preserve and protect. And he's not up to the mark to accomplish the devastating plan he has for America. But if we do nothing, who knows? He may succeed. So, I suggest you continue what you're doing. Contributions when you can, telephone calls, conversations, local op-eds, be active, push for midterm elections of people who will actually serve as opposed to take up space. And if we do all of this, we will have no regrets, and we increase our chances of stopping this revolution to the right, which would throw everything out the window we fought for with blood and treasure since 1776. So that's what I got, and I'm saying goodbye to you for today from my Cathedral of Trees. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.